Hello, hello. Hello, my dear students. How are you? ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಪ್ಪ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದಾರಾ ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಸಾರಿ ಆಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಸಮ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್ ಸೊ ವಿ ಕುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ದ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಟ್ ಶಾರ್ಪ್ 9 o'clock ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಬಿಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸೊ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಲೇಟ್ ಆಯಿತು ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ಲಿ ಸಾರಿ ಸೊ ಈಗ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸೊ today's my topic is, as you know, this under this computer awareness, computer programming languages and memories. Computer software and its types. Computer software and its types. So let us discuss the first one. As a computer system is divided into two categories. One is hardware and the other one is a software. So hardware is nothing but, the name itself indicates, the name itself indicates the name itself indicates the hardware. This hardware, whatever it is there, if you can touch and feel the hard parts of the computer system, computer components, computer devices, if you can touch and feel, if you can touch and feel, also you can see it, vision, also you can see the components of the hard system, a computer system which is nothing but a hardware. It is in a simple language. I am touching this board, okay, so this is a hardware. I am touching the keyboard, it is a hardware. I am touching the mouse, remote, camera and hard disk or any drive, storage devices, any input output devices, monitor, all the things comes under the hardware part. Okay, the software is nothing but, it is the things which contains inside the system. I mean, inside the memory devices and inside the processor, whatever it is working with the given task to produce the results, it is all about the software. So let us see the definitions. A computer system is divided into two categories, hardware and software. Hardware and software. Hardware refers to the physical and visible components of the system such as monitor, CPU, keyboard, mouse. Here you can see the many devices which is highlighted in a pictorial form. So the printer, which is a hardware device, a monitor is a hardware device, a keyboard is a hardware device, mouse is a hardware device, hard disk is a hardware device, SMPS, switch mode power supply, is a hardware device, and RAM, which is a volatile memory, which we have discussed in the last class. Random access memory, which is a primary memory, and this is a hardware, and this the main processor, microprocessor, or it may be a microcontroller also. Okay, so advanced RISC machine also. There are two different types of machines available. That is, one is a RISC type and the other one is SSC type. Reduced instruction set computers, which are mainly used for developing the embedded systems. And the CISC machines are also available, so which for some particular applications which are older, and these RISC machines are the new machines. Okay, so with latest technologies inbuilt. The processor and this motherboard, which contains the processor and the other peripheral devices connected to it to constitute a complete system. Okay, now this optical drives, this also we have studied. All these different components, all these different peripherals connected to constitute a complete system are nothing but it comes under the hardware. It is a hard one. Now, what is software? Here it is written, software, on the other hand, refers to a set of instructions which enable the hardware to perform a specific set of tasks. Softwares are the programs. Basically, the computer will understand only the language which is written in terms of zeros and ones. So that is called as a machine language, zeros and ones, zeros and ones. So this is a machine level language, MLL in short, we call it as MLL. So these understandable language will be nothing but it gives the commands or the instructions to the computer. Commands or instructions to the computers. A set of instructions, a set of commands given to the system is nothing but it is a program. Very simple. Okay, my dear students, it's very simple to understand this concept. Hi Sabil Kumbari. It is very simple concept. A instruction is nothing but it is a command. The set of instructions, set of commands is nothing but it is a program. It is a computer program to do some particular task. A collection of data, a collection of some codings which are written for one particular purpose, and it is given to the computer to do particular applications or a task. So the collection of codes, collection of instructions or collection of commands is nothing but it is a program. And the group of programs or the collection of programs, group of programs or collection of programs is nothing but it is a software. Okay, so very simple. Here see a collection of commands which are nothing but instructions given to the system to do some particular task. Instructions, collection of commands or instructions given to the system, given to this system to do some particular task, some particular task is nothing but a program. Okay, simple, it is a program. Is it clear, my dear students? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Okay, program is nothing but it is a very simple concept. So where it is a collection of codes, collection of data, it is a set of instructions. Okay, it is a collection of commands. So it is nothing but it is a program. But this program, what I have written, the spelling is different from the program which we are organizing in the college or high school level to celebrate something else. Okay, it is different program. Now, this program, if you are collecting some programs, a set of programs which for one particular purpose, for one particular applications, so then it becomes a software. Set of programs or collection of programs is nothing but it is a software. It is a software. Okay, software. Hardware is nothing but whatever the components of the system you can touch, you can feel, that you can see, that is a hardware. And the software is nothing but it starts basically from the commands, the instructions, a group of commands, group of instructions, then that is nothing but it is a program, collection of programs to do some particular application, some particular task is nothing but it is a software. Okay, so now let us move to the next, the different types of softwares. So different types of softwares. Different types of softwares. It may be application software, it may be a system software, it may be a driver software, middleware, programming software, and so on. There are so many types of softwares are available in the market for number of applications. Okay, so now we will learn one by one. Now let us see. Here there is a one chart, software types. You can see, so these many types of programs which are popular, these many types of softwares are popularly known by each and every computer professionals. Okay, so these are very simple also. So here, so let us start with first one, the application, such as CRM or ERP tool also. Here some tools are also available for different purpose. It may be a customer related, it may be a business oriented, or it may be a school or education field related, the database, students, teachers, communications between them, calling the parents meeting or something like else. Okay, so there are so many business tool also available. Here this is CRM is nothing but it is a customer relationship management. So how the company is going to interact with the customers. Okay, in what sense it is going to take the feedback of the customers for their products and how they are going to convince the customers to buy their products, and whatever it is the management of the buying and selling the products. So this is the one. And here, so other tool is also available. I don't want to go in depth of the other tools also. Okay, so this is a enterprise resource planning. Okay, so enterprises resource planning, where what you can do financially you can manage and the operational you can manage through these kind of different tools. Okay, so now let us see the applications of software definition. The most common type of software application, software is a computer software package that performs a specific function for user, or in some cases for another application. An applications can be self-contained, or it can be grouped of programs that run the applications for user. Example, modern application includes office suites, okay, graphic softwares, databases, database management programs, web browsing, word processor, software development tools, image editors, communications platforms. There are so many things are there in this, under this applications category. Whatever daily what we are using, the MS Office is nothing but it is an applications. Okay, word processing, PowerPoint, Excel, or any other type of tools which daily what we are using for particular one applications is nothing but it is application software. Okay, so about this application software. Now let us discuss about this middleware. So what is middleware? The term middleware describes a software that mediates between application and system software. Okay, so the name itself indicates that the middleware is the software kind programs which are lying between the two different kinds of softwares. One is an application and the system software. So between two different kinds of application software, for example, middleware enables Microsoft Windows to talk to Excel and Word. Just imagine, there are two different types of operating systems available in your system. If you are going to switch over from one operating system to another operating systems, sorry, one operating system to another operating system, if you are switching over, or your files you are transferring, your text file or it may be image file or whatever it is, you are just making a transactions between the two different types of operating systems. Operating system is nothing but it is a platform. It is the platform provided by the system to used by the user. Okay, so user is having that facility of the interacting with the system. The system is basically, it is on a hardware where the programs are written and some applications you are doing on that. So you are interacting with that softwares. So the user can have the interactions with the software resided in this. One is called middleware. It is also used to send a remote work request from an applications in a computer that has one kind of operating system to an applications in the computer with a different operating systems. Operating system, I will give you one best example for that. If you go to the railway stations, in the railway stations where the passengers, they want to travel by a train, so what they will do, they will be waiting for the train on the platform. So there were different platforms available in the railway stations. Okay, so if you want to get into the train or if you want to get out of the train, so you need a platform, because it provides you the easiness, it provides you to go inside and you just come out of the train. So it is providing that one easy level. Okay, so otherwise you just imagine if the train is out of the platform, so how you are going to get into the train and how you are going to get out of the train, it is very difficult you cannot imagine that way. Okay, if children's, if women's, and if old age, your parents maybe, so it is very difficult, and you cannot think of without platform going into the train, and you are coming out of the train, so it is very difficult. So this here also it is providing the platform between the machine and the user. The machine and the user is nothing but it is a operating system where you are going to transfer your data from one operating system to another operating system, and you are going to make a transactions between the two different, is nothing but it is a middleware. Okay, so you can see that middleware application such as a database. So where you have collected so many data, you are transferring from one platform to the another platform. Okay, so that is the one. So now let us see the next one. So applications we have covered, and middleware covered. Next, operating system user interface. Operating system user interface. A user and a computer can communicate in both directions. In both directions. User and the computer can communicate in both directions. It is a bidirectional communications. So you can talk to machine and machine can talk to you. You can transfer some of the contents, some of the data to the machine. You can assign some work to the machine, and machine will give you the feedback to you, user, or it may ask you some questions. It may ask you to feed the necessary things which the machine is required. So here in this operating system, which is nothing but basically a platform providing, okay, between the machine and the user, here the user interface. Sometimes what will happen, the mobile will ask many questions to us. What is your email ID? What is your contact number? If I am going to send you some OTP, you please put it here. So there will be interactions between the machine and the user. So that is nothing but it is an operating system user interface. It is an interface. You are facing that particular kind of module. Okay. Now, a user and computer can communicate in both directions. One of the operating system functions provides a user interface which allows a human to communicate with the computer's hardware. So the human being is going to communicate with the machine. Okay, so hardware. When you acquire software, it will come with user interface design that will allow you to access and use it. A user will provide data and instructions to the computer, and the machine will respond with information. The interface is how a computer and the user communicate. So that is nothing but it is the operating system user interface. Graphic user interface is also available at the latest versions. Okay, so where the graphical data can be accessed and can be communicate with the machine. Okay, now the operating system services. The next one is operating system. So, operating system services, system software. This is very important point. System software. These software programs are designed to run a computer's application program and hardware. System software coordinates the activities and functions of the hardware and the software. Okay, so there are so many peripherals devices, supporting devices connected to a main processor, which is nothing but a central processing unit or heart of the system. Sometimes it is called as a brain of the system. So that interaction will take place between the hardware and the software, and the software recognizes what is being connected, what are the different devices connected to the processor, and what are the different functions. It is, it is stored in that operating system. In operating system services, later at the stage where firmware will be there, already the how that interaction should take place between the different peripherals connected, it is stored in this firmware. We will come later this firmware to discuss. Okay. Now, in addition, it controls the operations of the computer hardware and provides an environment or platform for all the other types of software to work in. The OS operating system is the best example of the system software. It manages all the other computer programs. Other example of system software includes firmware, computer language translators, system utilities. Okay. Here firmware is also going to be covered in the later topic. Computer language translators. Already we discussed about this computer language translators. So there are different translators for different languages. Compiler, interpreter, compiler, interpreter, assembler. So these are the different translators, language translators, which are also software tools. So these are also software tools. Software tools. So this compiler will translate high level language into its equivalent machine level language. Interpreter is also does the same job, high level language to the machine level language, but there is a slight difference between interpreter and the compiler. So what exactly the difference? I will tell you. The compiler will take the whole program which is written for one particular application. If this is the program written, it may be 100 lines or 1000 lines program written in HLL, high level language. So this at once it is going to convert it into machine level language by this compiler, a software tool. But whereas this interpreter also does the same job, but it is going to take line by line, this interpreter, the next line, next, and so on. Here, if you encounter any bug, which is nothing but an error, encountered an error in your program, if it is not properly executable, it is not shows the execution process successful, there is some error in the program, you have missed some of the instructions, some of the semantic or other errors if it shows, then it will be better to go with this interpreter. Line by line means in which line you have done the mistake, in which line you have missed some contents. Instead of writing and you have missed D, so only you have written AN, but which is not recognizable by the system's internal memory, and which may not be a command in the command or instructions list of this computer processor. Okay, so for that reason, so the interpreter will show you at different stages, at the different stages of the executions, line by line. So this is also a software tool translator. And the assembler is nothing but this is going to translate assembly level language program into its machine level language programs. Okay, so that is the one how it is going to change this. Okay. Now we have covered this middleware, operating system, user interface, operating system services. Now the turn is operating uh, drivers and the runtime. Okay. If you find any difficulty, you just please comments. Now, driver software, also known as a device drivers, this software is often considered a type of system software. Device driver controls the devices and the peripherals connected to the computer, enabling them to perform the specific task. Every device that is connected to a computer needs at least one device driver to function. Example includes software that comes with any non-standard hardware, including a special game controllers, as well as the software that enables standard hardware such as USB storage devices or keyboards, headphones, and printers. So the meaning of device drivers. Driver, the name itself indicates it is going to recognize some particular interfacing, some particular external devices connected to the main system. Okay. So the job of the driver is to make the system to understand what kind of device is connected or interacting with the main processor. Okay. So that is the main purpose of this device driver. Device driver software is to make the system to understand which type of device is connected or interacting with the main system or the main machine or the processor. If it is known to the system, then the system will respond it properly. Otherwise, it will show you that unknown device is being connected to the system. So, if I am going to connect one keyboard, then along with that keyboard, I should install one device driver so that the system should understand that I have connected a keyboard to the system. If I am going to connect a camera to the system, then I should make the system to understand that I have connected a camera. What is the purpose of the camera and what are the application of the camera? I have to make the system to understand. That is nothing but it is a device driver. Okay. Now, in the operating systems, the manufacturers, so they will include the device driver of the many and multiple devices to make the system to understand. It is inversely it is done. But out of their list, someone has connected the device which is not in the known list, so then definitely you have to install a device driver. Okay. So that is the purpose of driver software. Now come to this hypervisor. It is the supervisor's supervisor. Okay, you got my point. Hypervisor is nothing but it is supervisor of supervisor of supervisors. Just look at this terminology. Okay. Hypervisor is supervisor of supervisors. So there are so many supervisors are working on the platform, working on the operating systems. So to look into the different functionality of the different sub-modules, sub-devices connected to the main processor, where so this has got the responsibility of supervisor's supervisor. Okay, so that is called hypervisor. Hypervisor is a software process that creates and runs virtual machines and allocates the host server's compute, storage, and networking resources as needed by each virtual machine. Hypervisor play an essential role in enabling server virtualization, which is itself essential to enabling cloud computing. I am having a limited space, limited storage space in my computer. So what I will do is, I will create a virtual computer, virtual system, virtual cloud storage in somewhere's server. Okay, so thereby I am utilizing as if I have got a personal storage. Okay, so it may be a paid storage, or it may be some free versions available in the net, so I can have that facilities. Okay, so that is nothing but it is hypervisor, which is an optional. Okay, so then come to this. The next topic is a firmware. Firmware, it is basically, it is stored in the BIOS, basic input output system. Okay, so it is written here, BIOS. Firmware. We know the hardware, we know the software, okay, we know the middleware, that also we have studied. Okay, now the firmware. So firmware, it is a software, it is written in terms of coding, it is dumped into the read-only memory. You just recall, we have studied this also. ROM, read-only memory. There were many types: PROM, EPROM, EEPROM. Okay, we have studied these many things under this topic, read-only memory. It is a non-volatile memory, just remember. Okay, RAM, random access memory, it was a volatile memory, and this is a permanent memory, but here you cannot edit it, you cannot modify the contents. The manufacturer has decided and how to connect the inter-peripheral devices with the main machine, main processor, and what are the different commands or instructions required to give the main machine to interact with the internal modules, so that all it is written in the ROM, and it is a read-only memory. The manufacturer, once it decide, so this is how the interaction will take place between the input and output devices. Okay, so it is a very small amount of memory. Firmware is a type of software that is embedded into a hardware device. It is responsible for controlling how the device interacts with other devices and software. Firmware is typically programmed by the manufacturers of a hardware components straight from the factory, and it is designed straight from the factory and is designed work with the specific hardware components. Okay, firmware is the lowest level of the programs. It is the lowest level. It is just about to touch the hardware. So hardware is nothing but which the components of the computer we can touch and see, we can feel it. Okay, so it is about to touch, means it is the basic lowest level of the system software. Okay, so that is called a firmware. Now come to this hardware. So this all we have covered. The last but not least, hardware. Hardware refers to the external and internal devices, equipment that enables you to perform major functions such as input, output, storage, communication, processing, and more. There are two types of computer hardware. One is external, the other one is internal. Okay, so there are two types of hardwares. Sometimes we need to connect a computer externally, some of the peripherals such as a printer. Okay, so mouse, keyboard, these are all external hardwares, and the internal hardwares such as different memory modules. Okay, so internal and the external hardwares are available. So if you come across any difficulty in this my lecture, so you just please comment so that I can answer for your queries. Thank you one and all. Good night.